get this party started. All right, let's do this. Turn on all of my ways of getting data, just like everybody else. All right. So as you know, you should be in a nice, easy gear, small ring, easiest gear you got. Have your fan, your towel, and your full water bottle in your cage. We'll do a little bit more warming up since you guys were warming up while I was waiting for everybody to log in. We'll get another 5 minutes worth. We can talk a little bit about the recent snowstorm. So hopefully everybody has recovered from their shoveling if they've had to do that. In the 2 days of the snow, I actually shoveled 7 times, trying to keep up with all of it. Unfortunately, Randy has a bum leg. I think I mentioned it last week. So therefore, I was the lone shoveler. I got really lucky though. Our neighbor came over with his snowblower because we have a pretty big driveway. He saved me once. And then Monday morning, our other neighbor used the same snowblower and saved me twice. So I was getting a little weary on that 7th time. But I will admit, as I mentioned when we were logging in, strength training, it helped. My core was strong, my legs were strong, my shoulders, arms, everything were able to manage it. Now, granted, I was a little sore in the back, shoulders, but I was able to manage it. So, something to say for strength training. And if you're consistent with it, that makes it even better. So if you haven't added that to your repertoire, you may want to consider putting that in. So tonight, I call this one, it's a sneaky one, because as I promised in my email, we're going to kind of turn it down a little. I worked you guys hard last week with that climbing workout. So this week, we're going to work in that endurance zone, but I'm going to keep you honest with 1 minute efforts after each endurance segment. It's going to just push the pace a little bit. So what I want you to keep in mind for each segment that's endurance based is find that metric, be it power, speed even. Cadence will obviously play a factor, or just rate of perceived exertion of where you are not breathing hard. You're working in your endurance zone. So you should be at a place where you should be able to talk pretty readily, and that it doesn't feel like your legs are burning like crazy, but you're right at that comfortable place. So tonight I'm going to allow you to be in that comfortable place, which is okay. We need to change up everything that we do. We keep doing the same thing over and over again. Definition of insanity, but also it doesn't help your body in any way. So last week was climbing. The week before that, if I remember, was cadence. This week, we'll work on that endurance. So here's how it's going to go to get started. We're going to keep the legs kind of moving fast, but also then working them a bit to feel that burn. So I want you to be able to feel in this 5 minute warm up a little of that lactic acid coming to the legs to get us ready for what we're about to do in the main set. And it is a 2-pager. And I do have for you interesting facts about snow as we go through this. So we're going to start with 30 seconds at 100 plus cadence, and then 30 seconds standing. So what I want you to do is I want you to be in your small ring for that 30 seconds of 100 plus cadence. And then I want you to shift to about 4 or 5 harder gears for the standing portion. So all you're doing is shifting back and forth. Good practice for shifting also. So to get started, give yourself 1 harder gear from where you are right now. Increase that cadence. 3, 2, 1. Let's do 30 seconds at 100. If you don't have a cadence sensor, you can follow my legs. I'm right now at 105. When I count it down, 3, 2, 1. Give yourself 2, 3, 4 shifts, maybe 5. Stand up. Remember, you're standing up directly over your pedals. You should feel that saddle just a little bit between your legs. Arms are nice and flexed. You're not too far forward. Sitting back down. 4 gears, back up. Nice high cadence. Right back to 100. It's 4 gears down and then 4 gears up. You're starting to feel the burn. That's what we want. 1, 2, 3, 4 gears. Stand it up. Keep your head up. Nobody climbs like this. Chest is open. Hands are relaxed. Sitting back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easier gears. Right back to 100. Keep those legs moving fast. If you're struggling to hit 100, just hit the highest cadence you can possibly hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand it up. As you're going fast, that's what we want. I love everybody's form. You look great. Sitting back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easier gears. Keep that cadence high. Remember, if you start engaging your core, meaning pulling your belly button in a bit, turning your hips under. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand it up. Seeing the pattern coming together here. Legs are definitely warming up. Sitting back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice high cadence. you're feeling a little breathless, that's okay. That's because the body's working. Once you get your lungs warmed up, it's interesting how sometimes that goes away. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time standing up for this one. Feel confident. You haven't turned your fan on, you're going to need it after this. And sitting down. Nice, easy gear. Spin it out. Whatever cadence is good. Remember, recovery time is for recovery. So take advantage of these times in between when you don't have to be working at the highest level. Take a drink. Our goal, remember, is to finish that bottle by the end of the night. Okay. Here's how this sneaky one's going to go. We are going to do a ladder endurance effort with 1 minute of pushing it a little bit. That's the sneaky part. So it's going to start with 2 minutes. You pick the gear, holding a 90 cadence at a nice endurance pace. After those 2 minutes, we're going to do 1 minute where you're going to push the pace. So for that minute, I want you to increase the cadence, increase the effort, which may result in changing the gearing. So we're going to do a ladder like that. Each effort will get longer, but each 1 minute, little bit sneaky push, will stay the same. So you can start to kind of gauge what gear you want to be in with the first 2 minute effort. So pick that range. It's okay. We're going to go through this so you can kind of dial it in as we go. 90 is our cadence. Endurance level, 3, 2, 1. Let's go 2 minutes. So pick a gear that's not super hard, that you can manage at a level where you could talk to me with 3 or 4, maybe 5-word sentences. Try not to get that cadence higher than around 95. You want to keep that cadence at a reasonable pace. 90 is reasonable. Most people have a hard time staying there, especially out on the road, but it is a reasonable cadence. I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was last year, they were doing a series on Zwift called the Zwift Academy. And they were in the Zwift Academy selecting from a group of athletes, 1 male, 1 female cyclist to actually get a pro contract. So they would have them go through various tasks, climbing, sprinting, endurance, indoor on the Zwift trainer, to determine which one they wanted to put on a team. Well, there was one guy who was really good, but he didn't have a very good cadence. I'll finish my story when we get through the 1 minute. So in 10 seconds, increase your intensity You might want to shift to one harder gear for 1 minute. 3, 2, 1. Look at where you are, whatever that metric is, and try to increase it by like 10%, 20%, just so it's a little harder. Not at the same level that you did the previous effort. Keep in mind where you're going, is you're going to try to reach these same goals for each one. 15 to go. Now the legs are burning. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Take a recovery. Take a drink. All right, that's one set down. What's going to happen is the next one will be 3 minutes at that endurance zone. Then 1 minute of hard, just like you did. You're starting to see the pattern here. It's nice to have this build like this. I like how the body has to work for that minute, then it immediately gets that recovery. All right, so think about, was that last one the right gearing selection, the right cadence? Let's go ahead and find that gear again. Here we go. 3 minutes this time. Settle in. Allow yourself to just be at that nice, comfortable pace. Nothing too hard. As you may remember, your endurance zone is actually your fat burning zone. This is a great way to build your cardio base, but it's also a great way to sweat out some of those calories. You may find yourself, as we go through this workout, later in the effort, that you're really sweating a lot. That's why, because you're burning a lot here. But back to my story. So this guy was a really talented cyclist. And one of the coaches indicated that he would not pick him as his final pick because he didn't have a fluid cadence. So he admitted that cadence was really important. So that's why we constantly work in cadence. A nice high cadence allows you to not work as hard, but over the time of riding, you can sustain whatever that time frame is that you're working in. So keep that in mind. Always work on your cadence. I'm still, after all these years of cycling, I'm always concentrating on my cadence. All right, 1 more minute here. And then just like the last one, we'll do 1 minute at a higher level. More intensity, harder gear. When I count it down, you'll go into that effort. See how consistent you can become for each of these endurance parts. I look at your file, it should be a nice square box and then a little rise. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1 minute. Pick up the pace. Force yourself to work a little harder. Stay focused. Keep that cadence. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Hands nice and comfortable. Little bend in the elbows. Nice flat back. Perfect circles. Light on your feet. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Take a drink. All right, you may have noticed we're only doing 1 minute efforts in between. So it gives you enough time to recover, but still not complete recovery. All right, we did a 2 minute effort, 3 minute effort. Yep, you guessed it. Time for the 4 minute effort. Just the same as the last two. We want to see that consistency. If you haven't turned on your fan yet, this is when you might want to do it. Keep the body cool to allow it to work. All right, find your gear. Let's go. So what's our tendency? Our tendency is after we recovered and we do that 1 minute effort, as soon as I say, let's start the next one, the tendency is to like bust out of the gate. In that first 30 seconds, you're going really hard. Nope. Try to see if you can find yourself going from the recovery straight to whatever that level is that you want to be. So you're not going over it. It's good to feel recovered because that's what that 1 minute is. It's called recovery. But I don't want you jumping into the next effort. All right, I brought with me some interesting facts about snow. Since we have it all around us right now. The first one, which some of you may know, snow is not white. What? Mind blown, it says. You can certainly dream of a white Christmas, even if it isn't strictly accurate. As any good snow pendant will tell you, the white stuff isn't white, but rather translucent. It's the light reflecting off of it that makes it appear white, with the many sides of the snowflakes scattering light in many different directions, diffusing the entire color spectrum. Snow can also appear in a wide variety of spectacular hues: dust, pollution, freshwater algae can color black, orange, or blue. Pink or watermelon snow caused by algae contains a chemical, astaxanthin, a chemical similar to the one found in carrots. So there's your snow. Is not white. We got 1 more minute. Snow also has many designs. One of the determining factors in the shape of an individual snowflake is the air temperature around it. The study of flakes has identified that long, thin needle-like ice crystals form around 28 degrees. Further changes in the temperature as the snowflake falls determines different shapes. That's kind of cool. All right, we're up to our 1. Little harder gear. 1 minute. Force yourself to work harder. Now is when you can jump. But I don't want you jumping too hard because you want to sustain that minute. Keep the legs moving. Keep the body relaxed. 30 more seconds. Remember, through any of these, if you need a drink, go ahead and take it. Just like you would if you're riding outside. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. 1 minute easy. We're going to move to the longest effort of the night, 5 minutes. Take a drink. So the legs at this point shouldn't feel completely wasted. If they are, a couple of factors may play. 1, you might be going too hard for your current fitness level. 2, your endurance base may need a little work. A lot of people go hard all the time. Therefore, they can't go like this. All right, we're coming up on the 5-minute effort. Find your gearing, and let's get going. Remember, don't jump into it. Just be patient with how you get to that effort. Keep that cadence right where you kept it at all the previous ones. If you're starting to feel your legs coming to life, then maybe you do need a heavier gear. So gauge it as best you can. All right, let's see what else we got. Snow affects sound, which is so true. It's very cool to go out on a snowy morning like we just had. I was outside shoveling, and I would just stop and look around, and the only thing that I could hear was a few birds in the trees, one being a couple of woodpeckers that we have in our neighborhood, and these little like chickadees. I meant to look them up, but I wasn't sure what they were. blackbirds with a little white belly. And it was so nice to hear the silence. Fallen snow absorbs sound waves, giving everything a seemingly hushed, quieter ambiance, which is so true. But if the snow then melts and refreezes, the ice can reflect the sound, making sound travel clearer and further. So we want nice, fluffy snow to be our sound barrier. I thought this one was an interesting one. It's often stated that the Inuit population have 50 words for snow. A fact that was discredited as pure speculation and then confirmed as roughly accurate. No matter how many they actually have, it pales in comparison to the Scots. Researchers at the University of Glasgow claim that the Scots language has 421 terms related to the white stuff, including skelp, a large snowflake, spitters, small drops of driving snow, and unbroch, the beginning of a thaw. I think we only have one word for snow. It's snow. We did discover that there is snow on Mars. According to NASA's scientific simulations, corroborated by remote robots on the planet's surface, during the summer in the north of Mars, there may well be sudden, violent snowstorms. We know there are clouds and subsurface ice on Mars, so snow is certainly plausible. Scientists also detect a cloud of carbon dioxide snowflakes over the southern pole of the planet. That's pretty cool. All right, see? Me reading that makes this 5 minutes go faster. All right, you got 5 seconds till you pick it up. 3, 2, 1, let's go. A little harder, a little faster, with a little bit more effort. Then we get to flip to page 2. It's a 2-pager. You guys love 2-pagers. Keep the legs moving. Relax your face. Nobody does yourself any good if you're like gritting your teeth. Everything should feel relaxed. Legs, shoulders, arms, hands, even your feet. 3, 2, 1. Good job. That's your longest effort of the night. Take a drink. All right, let me get to page 2. So back down the ladder. 4 minutes. 1 minute easy. 1 minute hard. Then 3. Then 2. Then Workout's over. Wow, that goes fast. All right, everybody's still with me, which is good. As always, Chris is there with his hat on, working on his heat adaptation. Yana, I'll see you with your hat on. Come on, man. You got to give me at least a couple of minutes of that. All right, let's go. Here we go. 4 minutes. Find that gear. 3, 2, 1. Settle right back in. The body should know where to go. It's been there already. 9, 10, 12, 13 minutes worth. Settle into that cadence. Find the rhythm. All right. A few more interesting facts. Monkeys love snow. Don't think for a second we're the only mammals to enjoy a good snowball fight. Japanese macaws, also known as the snow monkeys, have been observed making and playing with balls of snow. Young macaws appear to enjoy stealing each other's snowballs, then battling to retrieve them. That's pretty funny. This one I love. Spending too much time on the slopes, you could suffer from piloto or Arctic hysteria, a disorder affecting the Inuit people living within the Arctic Circle. Symptoms include meaningless verbal repetition or performing irrational or dangerous acts, followed by amnesia of the event. Vitamin A toxicity is thought to be one source of the disorder. Though in recent years, researchers have questioned whether the illness, thought to be based on as little as 8 cases, actually exists at all. So it might not be for real. This one's 4 minutes. This is when you start getting a little uncomfortable. But if you're in the right zone, you should be able to just work through these last 2 minutes. Also, this is a good time to work on your mindset. What do we tell ourselves when it gets hard? Oh God, I'm dying here. I'm never gonna make it. It's too hard. Can we stop yet? If you start saying that, that means you're done. But if you say, I got this, it's only a minute, I'm feeling strong, and keep the attitude in a good place, positivity kind of tricks the mind. And that's what we need. All right. 3, 2, 1 minute hard. So this is kind of like when you go on a ride and you're riding nice along, and all of a sudden a hill comes up in front of you. What do you say? Most people go, oh, it's a hill. Instead, oh yeah, let's climb. Randy and I are constantly saying to each other, if we're driving somewhere, oh, let's come back and see if we can climb that. Make it a challenge. Five more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Easy gear. Spin it out. Take a drink. Four minutes done. You got a 4-minute effort and a 3-minute effort left. On the downturn, use your towel, wipe off the sweat. Prepare for these last two. Pay attention to how your breathing is. If your legs are starting to feel weary, it's winter. It's okay. You don't have to be at your best fitness right now. You want to be at your best fitness before an event. Whenever you're ready, we're going to start going. 3, 2, 1. 3 minutes. This one I thought was interesting. Afraid of snowfall. There is a psychological condition that definitely exists. It's called cryonophobia, or the fear of snow, deriving from cryon, the Greek word for snow. While the phenomena can develop due to childhood trauma involving a snowy accident, there are more irrational variations where people develop an acute fear of becoming trapped or buried in snow if there isn't a flake in sight or at the first sign of a flutter. Hopefully none of us have that fear. If you did, I don't think you would have made it through Sunday into Monday. Anybody know how to yodel around here? If you do, it won't cause an avalanche. There are a number of factors that can trigger an avalanche, but noise isn't one of them. Weight is a much more important contributor. A sudden deluge of snow, an increase in wind speed, or even the overzealous footstep of a skier can trigger a sudden, deadly cascade. But a loud burst of terrible singing, that won't have an effect. So I was outside shoveling, and the roof on our house is extremely steep. Randy happened to be looking out the window at the same time as the snow on our roof, all of it comes crashing down like an avalanche. Fortunately, I wasn't under it because it would have buried me. Unfortunately, it came down on the section of snow of the driveway that I had just shoveled. So therefore, I had to shovel it again. All right, here's our 1 minute. Let's go. Only 2 hard efforts left. Make these solid. Concentrate on it. One metric. Don't try to look at all kinds of different factors. Feel strong. Feel confident. Use your metrics. Legs are strong, especially at the end of the workout. Five, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice, easy gear. 1 minute easy, take a drink. All right. We're into the last set. 3 minutes. That's all you have left. I know you can do it. Prepare yourself. So if you want, you can make that 2 minutes of endurance just a tad bit harder. And make that last 1 minute an all-out effort. Just to see what you have left. Just to push yourself a little more. Allow yourself to see what you're made of. You know what gears to get to. Go ahead. Find that gear. Let's go. 2 minutes. Nice and solid. I'm going to keep the stories to a minimum because I want you to concentrate on making this your best one. Remember, the last one's the best one. And this is where it counts, right here at the end. Let's check out the shorts. Says it right there on the back. I know you're going to make it through this one strong. Keep those metrics in place. Think about your body position. Don't let your back start to round. There you go. Saw you sitting up, Yana. That's good. Our tendency is to slump our body over when we get tired. We continue to engage that core. Keep our chest open. Keep those elbows bent. Shoulders down. Head looking forward. This is where you actually start getting your neck ready to be outside. Hard to hold our heads up. I have to look that up. How much does the human head weigh? I don't know. All right, we're almost ready. 10 seconds to your last minute. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Super solid. I'll give you every 15. 15 down. So if you want to push it a little harder. $30 down. Come on, you got this. Keep focused. 15 to go. Catch that person in 5, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Nice job. Take a drink. As we cool down, Finish that bottle. So you had your lesson in snow. So now you can go share your snow knowledge with all your friends. If anybody needs a transcript of what I've said here, I think AI is recording me, so I'll send you the notes. Or you can just do this workout again. So let's talk about that. So a workout like this, you can actually do this 3 days a week because you're not pushing at capacity. If you're doing a sprint workout and you plan on doing that 3 days a week, get ready because you're probably going to injure yourself. So be smart about how you're training. Like it's winter, so you don't need to really be pushing it super hard. But if you do that every other Wednesday or every once in a while, which you know I'm going to push you guys here, that's fine. But if you're somebody who's getting on some kind of automated system, I won't name any of them, and you're doing that every day and you're going that intensity every day, in the long run, it really is not going to give you a good foundation. So just like there's building blocks and zones, those building blocks help you to get your fitness level to build. So lots of endurance work at this time of the year, sprinkled in with some climbing, some cadence, some sprints every once in a while, every Wednesday. And that's going to help you, as you guys have been finding out when you get out there in the spring, because you're committed to this because you know when you get out in the spring and you've done these workouts over the winter, they definitely help. I know that for myself. If I didn't do anything, I don't think I could do nothing over the winter. It would just feel really weird. Randy said to me the other day, he said, how many miles do you think we've ridden on our trainers since we've known each other? It would be interesting to know how many we've done. I actually found, I was cleaning out a desk that we have in our second bedroom, and I found a whole bunch of logs of mine from when we didn't have Training Peaks, and I was just using a calendar to write down what I had done, how many miles, what our average speed was. It was kind of cool to look at it. Lots of miles. I should have just added up all the miles there. So use those mechanisms if you have them. If you have Training Peaks, it's a great way to have a log. If you want to do them, you know, Garmin keeps those for you too. Wahoo also does. Any of the computer systems now has a mechanism to give you the information that you need. And you can say, how many miles did I do in the year? And it will give you that. So having those badges of honor for the miles that you've put in. Some clubs actually do a mileage log every year, who can put in the most miles. So if you get in 20,000 miles in a season, that's a lot. Just don't go crazy on that, unless you know you're doing like a lot of endurance events. If you're doing randonniers or you're doing a lot of centuries, that kind of mileage is good. Or if you're doing a extreme endurance event, that's a good way to do it too. All right, we're going to do one more minute, and then we'll call it a night. So right now, you should just be in a nice, easy gear, just allowing the legs to spin around. No effort. Finish up that water bottle. Finish it up. Get in a nice shape. protein shake afterwards to recover. Have some protein in your dinner. That protein will help you to repair those muscles. We didn't work super hard tonight, but you still worked. You still worked hard enough to get you to recover with that recovery drink. All right. Woo. As always, great job, everybody. Let me save that. That's always the worst, when you forget to save your workout and you lose it.